see an MP who claimed that. Well, a former MP.
Yeah, I saw that, and I think that's a brilliant bit of character comedy, but I don't think it's the sort of stuff your average person cares about.
And this
I think they want.
Yeah, but this is part of the issue, isn't it? All of this. This is not. This is all insane.
That's the thing. I think nobody wants racism. I don't think anyone's thinking we need more racism. And actually, maybe there's institutional racism. Maybe we need to look at it. But at the end of the day, people want jobs. They want to be able to live their best lives, and let's just do that.
Absolutely. Dave Trollope, lovely to speak to you. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us all this morning. Coming up after 9 o'clock on Breakfast with Julia Hartnett, we're going to be talking to the man who prompted an awful lot of rugby fans to start singing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. We're going to be talking to Martin Chariot of Fire, former England professional rugby league and rugby union player. We'll talk to him next after the Rugby Football Union said that they are going to review whether fans should sing Swing Low, Sweet Chariot because of its history as a slavery song. It's cultural appropriation, don't you know? That's up next. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio. Strike it lucky with some win for your chance to get your hands on a garden upgrade worth over £3,000. Oh, indeed, folks. All you have to do is text garden to 63320 or post your name and number to COM4, PO Box 4445, Colchester, CO2 8GD. Head to thesun.co.uk/win for more information. And remember, you have to be in it to Sun Win It. Enter by 1 PM 22nd June. SMS entry cost £2. Standard network rate message. Postal entry free. Enter by the 23rd of June. 18 plus. UK residents only. For full T's and C's, visit thesun.co.uk/win.
Minions, did you know that guarantees your speed? No, Stuart, it doesn't guarantee you'll win the game. Or that your video will go viral. Or be in touch with you in real life. But Sky Broadband Superfast does guarantee the speed we promised or money back. So reliable. It's
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Sky, believe in
I just got a signal on it.
Today's 1 month subscription refund claim up to twice a midterm after first fortnight to see Sky.com.
Whether you're dreaming of a house the size of a football stadium or a football stadium in the back garden of your house, what you need is dream come true money. Luckily tonight's Euro Millions jackpot is £25 million. Now that's dream come true money. Euro Millions from the National Lottery. Play online or on the app. Estimated jackpot rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 or over.
Picture this. Small businesses on eBay are
ploughing on, boxing up goods and rolling them out, shipping kettles,
instruments to kids,
art for walls,
treats to pets, shorts for sunny weekends,
to brighten up one British home at a time.
Small businesses on eBay are helping to keep the nation going. They are individually...
Yeah, don't worry about it, mate. Like I said, I've only just got a signal to stream anyway, so I'm only streaming for a little bit. I didn't bring my tripod with me, so...
Across the UK.
No worries, matey. I was going to say it's 9 o'clock here in the morning, so 3 o'clock in the morning where you are, sir. Love you, brother. Have a good night. I'll speak to you in probably about 6-7 hours, something like that. So I'll see you soon, matey.
Minister tells Talk Radio they're determined to make no trial of the virus. Huge rise in borrowing to support the lockdown and should Swing Low be silenced at the rugby.
Talk Radio.
Good morning, I'm Sandy Ward. It'll be up to head teachers in England how they spend their share of a £1 billion government fund to help children catch up with learning they've missed during lockdown. The School Standards Minister says £350 million has been set aside for online one-to-one tuition for the most disadvantaged pupils. Nick has been telling Julia they're aware of just how vital it is to make sure children can catch up with what they've missed.
It's a very significant sum of money because as a government we are absolutely determined that no child should have their education damaged as a consequence of the coronavirus crisis. They want their life chances to be restored.
More stark evidence this morning of the way the economy is being hit by the virus. Government borrowing in May is predicted to be £5.2 billion, nearly 9 times higher than in the same month a year ago. This is according to the Office for National Statistics. It's the first time since 1963 the level of debt has been larger than the whole of the national economic output. Former Director for CBI telling Julia this is an inevitable consequence of the crisis.
The issue is the alternative was worse. As long as the next stage is done well, what we had to do was keep people having some money, having something, and not having amazingly mass unemployment and mass
Welcome to the stream, though, mate.
To apply for a £500 benefit is now the 31st of October, and customers who've already got one can request a further 3 months. Lockdown measures have been
It's been butchered, mate. That's what's wrong with it. It's been absolutely butchered. We've been sent up to put it right, so all this lot's going to be resorted. That ceiling's going to be sorted there, so that's the thing I'm doing now. Another company did it, mate, so it is what it is. You're just going to come in and fix it. So, but yeah, all that ceiling's going to be sorted around there. So, yeah, that's what I'm starting to do today. It's probably about 3 days work in this, sorting everything out that needs to be done in there. So, just get stuck into it, mate. So, and see what happens. So, just waiting on some materials anyway. Whereabouts? Yeah, he will be, mate. He will be in the end. But the house is not going to pass, so it's going to be put right. So that's why we do. That's why the company that I work for, we're putting it right. So you know what I mean. You do something right the first time you get it done, mate. So yeah. So I'm just going to literally strip all everything out here. And then we'll try and start putting it back. So yeah.
By 30th of September 2020. Deposit of £10,157
Yes, they are. Yeah.
£175 optional payment. Indemnities may be required. 5-year, 100,000
Yes, they are.
manufacturer warranty.
So that's all I can say about it, mate. So
Online, on DAB, and on your smart speaker. Talk Radio. Breakfast with Julia Hartley Brewer and the Times. Be well informed.
Good morning to you. It's Friday the 19th of June. You're listening to Breakfast with Julia Hartley Brewer on Talk Radio on day 98.
Whereabouts in the world are you from, sir?
The so-called world-beating test and trace app has been abandoned by the government. Health Secretary Matt Hancock said they're focusing on wanting it by Apple and Google instead, just like everyone told them to 2 months ago. Meanwhile, Boris Johnson has announced a £1 billion package to help pupils in England to catch up on lost learning, including intensive tutoring for the most disadvantaged children. And is it going to be enough to catch up an entire generation? Nick Raab got into a bit of trouble yesterday when I asked him if he would take the knee.
I've got to say, this taking the knee thing, which I don't know, maybe it's got a broader history, but seems to be taken from the Game of Thrones, feels to me like a symbol of subjugation or subordination rather than one of liberation and emancipation. I understand people feel differently about it, so it's a matter of personal choice.
So would you or wouldn't you do it?
Take the knee for 2 people, the Queen and Mrs. Blair and Mr. Mary.
Has nearly 6 million views, and the culture wars continue today. The Rugby Football Union is reviewing England's fans singing Swing Low Sweet Chariot, saying they don't know about its links with slavery, and saying it's about cultural appropriation. Yeah, I know it's madness, you know it's madness. So when does the madness stop? Well, up next I'm going to speak to former England player Martin Chariots of Fire. Next, the time is 9:30. This is Talk Radio.
Talk Radio Breakfast with Julia Hartley Brewer. Weekday mornings on Talk Radio.
Good morning to you. Thank you very much indeed for your company. Lots to talk about this morning. I just want to say also, by the way, that Sandy Waugh, a voice of Talk Radio Breakfast, we say we've got someone to keep informed. Well, you keep informed of this fantastic news bulletins from our newsreader, Sandy Waugh. She's leaving us. Absolutely gutted. We were trying to tie her down and keep her, but I'm afraid she's leaving us. Her next bulletin tonight will devastating loss for us. And Sandy, I know you're still listening right now. We are going to be so sorry to lose you and to miss you. And annoyingly, because of social distancing, we're not even allowed to hug her goodbye, which seems very, very unfair. But we'll be saying a proper goodbye to her on air just after her 9:30 bulletin. So I'm sure you'll join me in wishing her the very best. She's absolute top pro, and we are very, very, very sad she's leaving. Right now, let's turn our attention to the ongoing madness. And it is madness. It is. I think it is actually a form of insanity that is going on, and not just here in the UK. It's in America, but it does seem to be afflicting sort of the Anglophile countries most, full of this guilt about our past, wiping away our history, whether it's toppling statues, whether it's trying to wipe away anything that anyone has ever done that wasn't a good thing. And goodness me, an awful lot of our past has not been good, but an awful lot of our past has been. Yes, there were slave traders in this country, but yes, there were also people who ended the slave trade. Well, today the Church of England and the Bank of England have both apologised for their historic slavery links, because of course when slavery was banned, quite rightly, there was a decision to pay reparations, to pay compensation, but not to those people who had been enslaved, to the people who had enslaved them, to basically pay them off for losing the human beings they had taken as their property. It's extraordinary in these days. It's extraordinary and horrific, but it's what happened, and it was what was necessary to happen to free those people. Well, also later today, England Rugby have called on fans to stop singing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot." They are now we're having a review into whether or not people should sing the song after it was emerged. Obviously, it does come as a slavery song, and it's being accused of cultural appropriation. Well, one of the first times it got very early on was actually to the next guest, Martin of Fire, because of course his nickname is Chariots, as in Chariots of Fire, former England professional rugby league and rugby league player. Martin, thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Is it cultural appropriation? Is it inappropriate? Is it
What, me or the roof?
History of black slavery. For,
Morning, sir.
Oh,
Evening to you, sir.
Swing low, sweet chariot?
No, I wouldn't. I think
Hey, Mickey, all right?
You're doing this, you're doing that. People can claim it's cultural appropriation, but I think that education and informing ourselves about what it is that we are singing or saying, I think is never going to be a bad thing. Education over ignorance every time. Do I think the song should be banned? Definitely not. But I do applaud the RFU for reviewing it. I think it's something that light needs to be shone upon.
Does it need a review? Why does it need to be reviewed?
Just because I think it doesn't stop there. I think I was watching the
How's Jodie?
Joe Rugby podcast the other day, and Alex Payne asked a question to Ellis Dane. She said, after quoting some statistics about the number of black and ethnic council members, I think which was only one, Maggie Alfonsi, do you think the RFU or do you think rugby is racist? And he said, well, you basically answered your own question. I think we are just looking at turning the microscope on ourselves.
Hold on a minute. Just specific numbers doesn't make an organisation racist. There'll be we can argue, well, why are there so many black British people playing competing in athletics, not enough white people? Well, that's racist then, isn't it?
Hi, Jodie.
I agree with what you said, but I'm not saying it's racist. I said we're asking a question and looking at it. So if there's several rooms in meritocracy and all those rooms only have one type of person in it, you would question it. That doesn't make sense. Because even in the game of basketball, okay, which is meant to be predisposed by cool black people, okay, you still get a range of people in basketball teams. You still get a range of people in everything, which is a meritocracy. If you only get one type of people, whatever type of person,
Right,
don't
need that insulation out there. Get the insulation out.
Colour, gender, or height, or whatever, you get a range of individuals, and I think there's nothing wrong with asking those questions or examining that. I've grown up in this country, since I've experienced things. I believe that I've been a success within this country. So I'm not surprised with anything, you know what I mean? But I always think it's further education and understanding yourself and moving on. I think the world is a far better place now than it was 100 years ago. And I think it'll be a far better place in 100 years than it is today.
Yeah, I absolutely. I think we have to acknowledge the progress, and again, and not pretend that things are perfect.
I wish
and
it
that's
was.
very different from people saying it's still just as bad as it is now. Now, Trevor Phillips,
I think the
Why, absolutely
that the world we're living in now, obviously it was born how many 100 years ago, I would have evaded the slave catches and didn't end up with a name like Johnson and still managed to keep a fire. But
it's a very good point. Let me read out a tweet that's posted by Trevor Phillips, former obviously chair of the Human Rights Commission, Quality Human Rights Commission. He said, "So Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, celebrating the Underground Railway, written after the Civil War by a freed slave, made popular by the African some of many black demonstrations honoured by Congress, now to be banned." He said it was a favourite of Paul Robeson, of Louis Armstrong and of Martin Luther King. He says the last attempt to ban the song was in 1939 in Nazi Germany. So black people's own culture is also now to be counted. He says, please everyone, take a breath before you eliminate black lives.
So,
what do you say to that?
roof-wise, this one can be repaired. Next doors, it's still debating whether it's coming off or not. We won't know until the report comes back from like the building inspector. This one can be repaired, which I'm doing over the next probably 3 days. But next doors is absolutely terrible. So we can't even get up. Well, we're not even touching that one until a decision is made. This is just a mess, but it can be fixed, this one. So it's not a massive issue, this one. So, but next doors is horrendous. Next doors is absolutely horrendous. In 24 years of doing this, I've never seen it like it next door. I have once, but that was a joke. That was a joker who literally didn't know what he was doing or anything. You know what I mean? And
the trouble is that none of us is going to live up to scrutiny in 20 years' time, and maybe cancelling all our history and our culture and our cultural enjoyment from the past perhaps isn't going to be very good for us in the future. Such a pleasure to speak to you, Martin Offiah. Thank you very much indeed, former England professional rugby player, of course. Very much appreciate you joining. We're talking about our history and our culture. Dame Vera Lynn, just around the same time yesterday announced the.
I'll show you. I'll just show.
Executive of the Soldiers, Sailors,
So, like up there, there's not enough bracing in that. So that there, that's wrong. Braced wrong. That's braced wrong. We've got to sort that corner out. That valley's knackered. It's like stuff like that. When you look at stuff like that, it's not sat down properly. Stuff like that. When you have stuff like that where he's packed it up, that one over there where he's butchered that. Packers under that one, it's no good. That up there goes into the Velux, so there, that there, pack that up, that in the corner where he's done something to that, stuff like this where he's put plastic packers under. That's got no straps to the back of the wall, so it's all stuff that we need to sort out. Stuff like that needs to be sorted out as well. So that's what's wrong with this one. So that's what's wrong with this one. But next doors is 20 times worse than this. Like I say, I've never seen it like it next door. You know, I've got it, mate. I've got it, but it's not showing it right. It's not showing everything right. So I'll fit it on. I'll just go down and get my material. My materials are here. So give me 2 minutes. I'll be back in a minute. So.
And she inspired them to improve themselves, and that's why she was such a wonderful ambassador for SAFA.
Absolutely. So Andrew Gregory, thank you very much, Chief Executive of SAFA, the Soldiers, Sailors, Airmen and Families Association, for which Dame Vera Lynn was an ambassador. Wonderful, wonderful life. 9:18 is the time. You're listening to The Breakfast Show on Talk Radio with Julia Hartley-Brewer, powered by The Times. Know your times.
Talk Radio.
The Premier League is back. Behind closed doors. Why not let the Sunday Times be your eyes and ears? We'll bring you in-depth previews and analysis of every game from our expert team of writers and ex-players, including Jonathan Northcroft and former England captain Wayne Rooney. Don't miss our 24-page news sports edition this weekend, only in the Sunday Times. Know your times.
We're here for everyone this summer at LloydsPharmacy.com for the barbecue lovers, the green-fingered gardeners, the back garden explorers, and the 1-hour exercisers. We have everything you may need, from buy one get one half price on allergy relief to sun care from just £5. We're here for you this summer. Order before 4 p.m. and we'll deliver the next day. Lloyd's Pharmacy, always here for you. Selected lines only, subject to availability, cheapest item half price, next day delivery charge applies.
The wait is over. Tonight, it's Tottenham v Man United in a top-draw matchup. And with Now TV, you can watch all the action live for just $9.99. Hold on, they're checking with VAR.
That's confirmed. It's $9.99.
Game on. So, grab a Now TV Sky Sports Day Pass. Search Now TV Sports. 18 plus content streamed via internet. Full terms apply.
I'm Hayley Turner and Royal Ascot is on. And at Mansion Bet, we're on it too. With a royally simple offer.
Every day in the first race, we'll pay you as a winner if your horse finishes second. So where should you bet? It's not rocket science. It's MansionBet.com. New customers only. Minimum bet £10, max £20. First dollar bet only. Max payout £500 as cash within 24 hours. Full terms at MansionBet.com. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Enjoy peace of mind with Ford. Relax and think about 3 months deferred payment on a new vehicle. Visualize an additional 3 months cash back. Breathe deeply and let 0% APR representative on selected vehicles wash over you. That's peace of mind from Ford. Current promotion ends 30th of June. Search Ford Peace of Mind for details.
Only available with Ford credit on selected finance plans. Exclusions and deposit restrictions may apply.
Talk Radio. Traffic and travel.
On the roads on the northbound M6 in Cheshire, one lane is shut on the entry slip road at junction 20 for the Lynn interchange. That's after a breakdown this morning. Elsewhere in Hampshire, on the eastbound M27 carriageway, one lane is shut eastbound between junction 8 for Hamble and 9 for Fareham. That's after a breakdown there as well, and it's busy passing through. In Somerset, on the southbound M5, the entry slip road is closed at junction 19 for Portishead. That's for some emergency repair works. And on public transport now, replacing buses are running on the TransPennine Express. That's travelling between Scunthorpe and Doncaster.
At Tesco, we've price matched Aldi on hundreds of products like bananas, peppers, chicken breasts, tomatoes, Warburton's bread, strawberries, even avocados. That's Tesco products at Aldi prices. Because now more than ever, every little helps. Tesco. Prices checked on comparable products from GBLD stores and online twice weekly. Price most often found matched excluding promotions. Selected Tesco stores excluding Express and all Northern Ireland stores. Products and their availability vary weekly and by store. Details at tesco.com/Aldi price match.
Talk Radio Breakfast with Julia Hartley-Brewer. And the Times. Know your times.
Good morning to you. This is Talk Radio Breakfast with me, Julia Hartley-Brewer. Such a pleasure to have your company. Just a reminder, Talk Radio is moving from DAB to DAB+. I'm sorry if you've heard this a million times already, but if you haven't retuned to DAB radio yet, you won't be able to listen to us from Monday. Honestly, it means all your favourite shows with fewer interruptions on DAB+, but you do need to retune your radio right now to Talk Radio Plus. Save us 2 presets. Just scroll through, find Talk Radio Plus, and then set us as a preset. If you can't find us, then you just need to perform an auto rescan. So you press either the auto tune or the scan button, and then after that's rescanned, you can look for us at Talk Radio Plus. If you can't find us, then do email us on feedback@talkradio.co.uk. You can feed us as well if you want, and you can go to our website talkradio.co.uk and to find more information. But to keep listening to Britain's fastest growing speech station on your DAB radio, you do need to retune by this coming Monday. If you listen on a smart speaker, online or via the app, you don't need to do a thing, just keep on listening. We're very glad to have you all. 9:23 is the time. Coming up, we're going to be talking about changes in Scotland to those rules as they come out of lockdown following a lot of the changes we've had this week in England. But first up, let's talk about that test and trace system. More than 1 in 4 people who test positive can't actually be reached by the human test and trace system, and the government has had to completely abandon their plans for the app after it found out that it was all absolutely brilliant and totally world-beating, apart from the small fact that it didn't actually work. Let's talk to Meg here, Chair of the Public Accounts Select Committee and Labour and Cooperative MP. Good morning to you, Meg.
Good morning.
Well, can we start with the app first of all, because I'm sure huge sums of money are being thrown at this, and I'd be really intrigued in future years when, or future months when your select committee looks at the cost of this, how much money was wasted on an app that doesn't work. Are you concerned?
Well, I mean, it always had the hallmarks of something that was a put it politely, a big challenge, but frankly, so many of these government IT projects fail because they try and do something that actually, frankly, the private sector is better at. So yeah, of course, we'll be looking at this and the whole test, track and trace, because this is something that's quite basic for a pandemic, that you can test, track and trace. It's been happening since Victorian times. There's pandemic planning that happens in government, and the question is why we weren't better at it earlier on, and then why it was so late that the government decided to try and really ramp it up under Dido Harding, and was brought in really quite late to sort things out.
Well, indeed, and has no particular expertise in apps. Despite having worked with TalkTalk, she's not actually a tech person at all. But if she did the same degree,
It's not actually the app was happening. It's actually that she's been dealing with the human side.
No, exactly. But
the app feeds in.
they were supposed to all work together. That is the problem, isn't it? We were told it'd be world beating, it would be absolutely crucial, and now we're told it doesn't really matter.
Well, we know when the government says something's a world beating IT, your legs get a bit wobbly under you, think this isn't quite going to work out, is it? Because I'm afraid to say there's track record. I wrote a book about government failed IT projects with a very big bit on the NHS. So, I mean,
the fact that you could write a whole book on it is actually a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? But a lot of the criticisms of the app, I mean, a lot of this, they were raised at the very beginning by people saying there was going to be this problem. But it is
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, I just had to sort the gear out down there. So, but yeah, next door is an absolute mess. It is what it is. It's whether the roof's coming off or it's going to get repaired like this one, but that one I don't think can get repaired. So, yeah.
More PPE, the protective equipment. Again, that's run by them. The NHS trying to do this IT project. Meanwhile, the private sector, supermarkets, yeah, okay, you couldn't buy loo rolls for a couple of weeks, but other than that, the private sector has just massively, turned itself around.
So I've got the shoulder cab thing, but I don't think it works with the.
Turning their attention to these, online sales.
I don't think you can see anything.
That actually, the private sector is really quite good.
So that's the shoulder cam. Obviously, I think it's going to interfere with what I'm trying to show. Like so. I just think it looks as though it's going to be all over the place. You know what I mean? So I do have my tripod, but I forgot my tripod. Oh, you fucking bastard. Ah! 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 I don't know how it's working for the. Yeah. Yeah, I've got my tripod at home. I just haven't brought it with me today, so.
Of course, the battles over his memoirs have intensified as Donald Trump has hit back in tweets, calling him a liar, a dope, and a whacker after the leaks from the new book, The Room Where It Happened, portrayed him as ignorant of world affairs, not even knowing, for instance, that the UK was a nuclear power, and obsessed with nothing but his own re-election.
Yeah, I'll bring it on Monday when I stream on Monday. I'll stream the second go at this. Ah, yeah. Oh, oh, Jesus. Come on. Oh, there we go. There we go. Woo. Let's set one down. Right, okay. So, put that one over there for now. Right, so we're going to tackle this area here. I'm going to tackle this area here and then we'll get cracked on. cracked on with the rest of it. We'll set the we're going to set the laser. I'll see what laser.
In just relation to both the man himself and his motivation.
Let's see where the laser level's flying.
The fact that he would put his own self-serving agenda above
Right,
everything
okay.
else.
So that's laser level there. So we're running not so bad with that. It's just the Valux is just the Valux is wrong. In the wrong position. Well, that's all wrong up there, so
Frankly, I wonder whether it would or wouldn't have made any difference to that vote, given it went pretty much almost entirely under party lines. But also, do you not think it's all under my vote the job once?
Right, so we're going to take centre out. Centre one out now. Strip this. And then yes. So we'll get these twist nails out off these. These are just horrendous. I don't know. These are truss clips. So basically they hold the truss down.
The way to put it, who damaged American relationships and international standing and all of that. I don't know if I'm a big surprise there, but I am shameless and I think as well, because as you say, it's content enough to work for Trump for long enough until he was fired. And also, solid conservative Republican credentials. He's worked for two Bush administrations. He worked in the Reagan administration. He's a friend of Stuxnet.
Oh, you're joking me. They've done it wrong there as well.
He got the absolute pedigree there, and I rather naively thought, I suppose, that his loyalty was maybe perhaps even more to the party.
But no, that was no, exactly. That was not the case. Thank you so much for joining us, Clodagh Harrington from the Montfort University.
The Montfort.
Julia Hartley-Bowley are going to be so many people are feeling low coronavirus.
There we go.
And plenty more besides. Don't miss Mike Rance, Ian Collins from One, and
It's out.
Drive with Mark Turner this afternoon from 4. Right now, it's just coming up to 9:32, and I'm always late with the news. I'm terrible at that. But the very last time we are going to get the latest news headlines on Talk Radio.
Like I say, Monday I'll bring the tripod. It's a bit easier Monday. I'll be set up properly.
The government's determined to make sure the coronavirus pandemic does not create a lost generation. £1 million has been set aside for cash. Children have been out of the classroom for months. Some cash will be spent by individual schools, others to pay for one-to-one tuition. School standards Winston has been telling Julia they'll support these children for as long as necessary.
Oh, Jesus.
Whatever it takes to prevent that from happening, and that's what this £1 billion is about. It's about making sure that the next academic year that they have support to help get those children caught up by the end of that year. So, we look at
I'll strip that one out and then we'll stick laser around, find out where we are with it. Just need to find out where.
Has outstripped GDP for the first time in nearly 6 decades due to the coronavirus pandemic. Former Director General of the CBI, Lord Dicky Jones, says it was necessary. It shows how vital the next stage will be.
Record, of course it's not pleasant, but you want to make sure that the second bit's done well now, which is get the nation back to work. Taxes paid, then you have money to pay for this debt, and you have money to pay for schools and hospitals and key workers now. The second stage, it's almost like we put all this in, stop bleeding, now we've got to make sure.
Rugby legend Martin O'Fly has been telling Talk Radio he thinks England fans should be allowed to carry on singing Swing Low at international games. Many think the player's own career may have been one of the reasons the anthem took on. His nickname is Chariot. He's been telling Julia he's been talking with other players this morning and none of them wants to see the song banned. But the sport is probably right to have a look at it.
We'll get this one out and then we're going to take that across there out with the Velux. above the Velux, and then start getting a few others out. Just need to get them on first.
Australia's Prime Minister said his country had been targeted in a sophisticated cyber attack. Scott Morrison says essential services have been affected at all levels of government. On not alone, figures suggest bike sales could top £1 billion by 2022. Planning to make cycling part of our lifestyle, government's allocated £2 billion to create better cycle spaces and get more honest on two wheels. Radio National Weather. Heavy showers though in.
That was Sandy Wars, full news broadcast. And Sandy, we just do want to say a huge thank you here from everyone at Talk Radio Breakfast Show. Alex, Gabriella, Mark, everybody working on the show.
Goodbye, Gabriella. Goodbye, Sandy.
Moving on to other things and hopefully upgrading my education skills, which will be
Goodbye, Sandy.
You actually do teach a lot of the next generation of young journalists to do a good job. I mean, there is no one who's coming out of lectures and doing not turning out as a good journalist. And you are absolutely right in the game. And I know that every career listener has been listening to the show all these years.
Right, all my gears down there. Nice.
Breaking news, and we are really hoping this.
Right, let's take this one around the Velux out. Get this one out. Goodbye, Sandy. End of an era, Sandy. James Whale. Left wing Whale. Oh, yeah. There we go. Be well informed. Right. That's that one out. Stream. Right, I'm going to put the. It's just I'm going to take this off and put it back over there, I think. Just to where I think it's just getting in the way a bit. So, like I say, I think. Like I say, Monday will be a tripod jobby on Monday. So, when we carry on investigating this mess and putting things right. And having faith back into what we do. Like I say, obviously I'm going to be over there, but I've got my other phone on so I can read chat. So if I don't speak to chat, like I say, I'm just over there, I'm grafting away, but I will see it because I've got my other phone over there. So yeah, just literally sit back and enjoy the show.
Brits do seem to think that we live in a rainy, watery country, but the reality, the statistics actually show that we don't have enough water to meet the needs of our growing population. We use a lot more fresh water than we have in the past, masses of more. We used to use about 4.1 billion litres a day in the 60s. Now we use 9.4 billion litres per day. It's enormous quantities, and we're facing the threat of the changing climate of the planet. And all of these issues mean that we are, in the future, concerned that we are going to run out of fresh water, that demand will outstrip supply. And if that happens, then we're going to end up with a bit more than hosepipe bans. And we don't want to have a situation where we have to start filling reservoirs from rivers and from streams. That would have huge environmental consequences. So there's a new report out that's called the Great British Rain Paradox, from Finnish and supported by Love Water. And it's trying to raise awareness of this long-term looming water crisis, and it's highlighting some really sensible small changes we can all make in our homes that could make a big difference.
It's a strange time though. We're all being told, wash your hands for 20 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute, whatever it is. I've lost track of how many under the tap and keep the tap running. I mean, and yet, certainly anyone who's got a child who's been at school at any point in the last 20 years, you'll be nagged if you're cleaning your teeth and you leave the tap running. You get a nag from the child. This has been inculcated in the school. You don't leave the tap running, and that's been very sensible. But Is it household water use that's a problem? Surely is the amount that we're using, boiling the kettle and running a shower and flushing the loo, is nothing compared to industrial use.
Well, it's a bit of everything, really. I suppose I don't think it's suggesting that it's just down to households to tackle global issues. I do think that, I know that obviously at the moment we're really needing our fresh water to wash our hands, and nobody's suggesting we shouldn't be doing that. But I do think the pandemic has given us all a bit of pause for thought about our relationship with the wider world, with Mother Nature, with other future threats as well, future issues that could leap up and bite us. And what we're saying with this report is that our use and demand for fresh water is going to outstrip the supply and demand. There are lots of small things that, yes, householders can do, not just industry, not just the water companies, householders can do. A leaky loo, for goodness sake, a leaky loo can use up to 400 litres a day.
Right.
And we are using water at an astonishing rate. And it's good that you're listening to little as if they're saying don't run the tap while brushing your teeth, but there's lots of other things you can do, like taking slightly shorter showers, slightly fewer baths. Use a dishwasher if you can. I love this one because I hate doing the dishes,
Yes.
but using a fully loaded dishwasher versus hand washing dishes can save 40 litres
Now,
of water.
this is the key thing. People always say, oh, you shouldn't use the dishwasher, use loads of water, but there are all those eco dishwashers now. And as you say, if you run it when it's full, I have to say, there is no one in the world. If there was an Olympic sport which involved getting as many things into a dishwasher and still coming out clean, I would be the gold medalist at it.
No,
Running the dishwasher with one space for a plate, I will get very upset.
You might get silver, but I am saying gold. I'll have it.
Can I just say, this would be a great TV show. It's all good point. Look, I'm never entirely convinced by this whole idea that we're going to run out of everything on the planet, because we've had these warnings for about 50 years and we never seem to actually run out of anything. And I'm sure that human ingenuity and technology will come up with a way. We're going to be just, filtering
If you can make more water, then we could do that, but it's enormously expensive.
Well, it is now, because we don't need to do it.
I think we can take sensible little steps. But I've got you on the dishwasher, which is good. We can perhaps persuade you of an eco shower head that uses a lot less. That can save 6 litres of
No, I tell you what, you're going to prize my power shower head out of my cold dead hands.
Oh my goodness! What about a dual flush toilet? Can we persuade you on that? Because if you get a dual flush toilet, it's crazy that we use this entire shed load of beautiful drinking water to flush a tiny bit of wee down the toilet. If you change to a dual flush mechanism, you can save 19 litres of water per day. There's lots of
your house, Simon. So we'll have to look at that. Look, I think you've given us all some very good ideas. And everyone just needs a little bit of a change. But sometimes won't even actually make much difference to their lives. We can improve things. That's not a bad thing, Simon Reeve. But I do want to have a realistic, real time challenge on the dishwasher front. Simon Reeve, environmentalist, TV presenter. Thank you very much for that. Well, let's talk about something really serious as well. Water's running out. Pretty serious, isn't it? But people being lonely. I think it's only a few years ago people really understood how much loneliness is bad for people and how much it is, frankly, a killer. And yet people apparently have never felt more lonely. 4 in 10 people, according to a new survey by British Red Cross, say they feel lonelier since the coronavirus lockdown began, and a third say they've not had a meaningful conversation in the last week. Let's talk to Naomi Phillips, who's spokesperson for British Red Cross, and joins us now. Good morning to you, Naomi.
Good morning, Julian.
We were mentioning this a little bit earlier in the show. This is absolutely heartbreaking, and this is at a time when we're supposed to be sort of taking care of people we know who are lonely, particularly elderly people, disabled people trapped in their homes.
Absolutely. So we do know from previous research that around 1 in 5 people in the UK is always or often lonely. And our new report, Life After Lockdown, shows that lockdown itself has really impacted on people who feel lonely, as you say. Actually, around 30 people said they haven't had a meaningful conversation in the last week, and a similar amount say that as neighbours are like strangers to them. So it's a real issue. And I think that what we think is that as lockdown eases, for many of us, as we go back to work and school and some sense of normality, actually, we'll be able to reconnect with people and services that will help us and will probably feel less lonely. But we do know that for some people who were already lonely beforehand, for people with health restrictions, people who are shielding, for example, some people from black minority ethnic backgrounds, people on lower income, parents with young children, what our research said is that for some of those people, they are at risk of continuing to be lonely
Yeah.
as the rest of society moves on.
I would have to say, I was really aware at the beginning of the lockdown and making sure, contacting my elderly relatives who were on their own, some who are perfectly well, but just living on their own and aren't in a care home, and neighbours nearby, and just emailing them and a few phone calls, just checking you're okay and just having a chat, and just, if you did pass someone in the street who you knew was someone you thought lived alone, just having a little bit of a chat, and you just know that the difference it could make in someone's life. Well, then there's people probably wanting to run away from me. I don't know. I've just misread it. But the idea of people not having a meaningful conversation, not other than standing at the till in the supermarket or just something really basic, not being able to actually have a interaction with another human being that has some pointal meaning overall. That is what human beings need. We need it as much as oxygen.
I completely agree. It's a real issue. And for many people, lockdown has made it worse because the kind of people that you might speak to, for example, carers coming in or friends and family who might just pop in for a cuppa, that has been stopped for so many people. And we do know from speaking to people in our own services, actually, they've just sort of left alone, that they're sort of company as their dog, and actually the people that they would normally see haven't come back. And for people who need to stay with the restrictions, actually, that's not going to change very much for people. We set up a support line during the coronavirus that anybody can call on 0808 196 3651. And for people who are feeling lonely or who don't know where to turn to, they should call that number, and we should be able to help them with that.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you do fantastic work. Thank you very much indeed, Naomi Phillips, spokeswoman, apologies, for the British Red Cross. Well, all this week, Talk Radio is supporting Loneliness Awareness Week this week with a dedicated audio campaign. We've been speaking to all sorts of different people who are either experts in the field or have themselves experienced loneliness.
My name is Dr. Kelly Payne, and I look after research at the Campaign to End Loneliness. The Office for National Statistics has reported on loneliness, and they found that 45% of people in England have felt sometimes or often lonely, and that equates to about 20 million people who have felt lonely in the UK. So I think it's
Welcome back, Mickey. Welcome back, sir. What have you been cooking?
Isolation doesn't indicate whether or not you're lonely.
Oh, nice chicken salad. Nice. So, I'll just take you over there and show you what we're doing anyway. So, we're obviously I'm going to try and get this Velux or Velux, what do you call it, Veluxes? All that lot to work. Obviously you can see the laser level there. That's the laser level of the ceiling. So I'm going to get this to work for plasterboard for the laser level, and obviously bring a ceiling into this. So that's what we're just doing at the moment. So like I say, Monday I'll have a better setup on Monday. I'll bring the tripod and get a bit closer so you can see what everything's going on. But like I say, Monday I'll be alright Monday. So we'll get cracked back on again. I'm probably going to play some Last of Us 2 tonight. Depends what time I get home. So but yeah, we'll see what time we get home tonight. So yeah. So I'm just going to strip these nails on here and then literally see what we can do in this window.
Most lonely was being around other mums that I didn't necessarily connect with, and all we had in common was the fact that we were mothers. And after a while, meeting up with people that I didn't necessarily share the same values or
You still working yourself, Mickey?
On the roads this morning on the westbound M8 in Glasgow, one lane is blocked between junction 16 for Craig Hall and junction 18. That's after a breakdown there. Elsewhere on the northbound M1 in Bedfordshire, one lane is shut between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13 for Bedford. That's because a car's broken down. In Somerset on the southbound M5, the entry slip road's closed at junction 19 for Portishead for emergency repair works. And on public transport, Great Western Railway are reporting delays of up to an hour and some cancellations on trains from Bristol Temple Meads. I'm Emily Rose Adams.
At Tesco, we've price matched Aldi on hundreds of products like bananas, peppers, chicken breasts, tomatoes.
Not making it look easy, mate. It's about having the know-how to get round things, mate. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think it's just about having a know-how to get round things and stuff, you know what I mean? So, seeing where you can bring stuff in, you know what I mean? And oh no, what's going on there? Oh, there we go. We're back.
I'm afraid, look, I won't be able to make the two-a-side football match with your mum and nan. Well,
yeah, it's
moving to DAB Plus, I said I'd give them a hand with the removals.
the experience, mate. It's just,
don't be like that.
you know, getting other stuff.
It's not far from where they are at the
Once you know how to do it, things you're always learning things. You know what I mean? So you're always learning things. So yeah, it's good. So like I say, he'll learn the way I learned old school. You know what I mean? From like the old school. Like carpenters, you know what I mean? So they knew everything, you know what I mean? And that stood me in good stead. It's always stood me in good stead for what I do now. So
lots more to talk about even before we get to just a reminder, Talk Radio is moving from DAB to DAB Plus. That means all your favourite shows with fewer interruptions. You need to reach in your radio right now to Talk Radio Plus. Save us to your presets. You have until Monday to move with us. If you listen on a smart speaker, online or from the app, you don't need to do a thing. Just turn on however you are on our DAB signals, then Talk Radio. You need to retune your radio to Talk Radio Plus. You need to press the auto scan or retune, auto tune or scan button. To nominate your NHS hero each year. The Sun hosts the Who Cares Wins Health Awards as a thank you to all the amazing NHS workers. Whether it's a friend or a parent or someone you work with, and tell us about all the great work they're doing. So to enter your nomination, simply go to sun.co.uk/Who Cares Wins. You can do that right now today as well. Just after you've reset your radio.
Thing is as well, Mickey, the way you'll have been taught is different to how they get taught now, you know what I mean? So you'll have been taught everything like I was. Like nowadays, with the apprentices nowadays, they hardly get taught anything, you know what I mean? Like, there's literally, they don't get taught anything, so it winds me up because, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I learned what sets me in good stead for all this, for getting other shit like this, other crap like this, what some fucking clown has done, you know what I mean? And like we suggested when we came and investigated this, if the bell's hands up, so I can't do it, there's no disgrace in it, you know what I mean? There's no disgrace in not being able to do this, you know, it is a complicated roof and it would have taken me a long time to do it, but the end of the day is,
routes to specific destinations.
Don't know how much it's going to cost, you know what I mean? It's like for some guy who'll hold his hands up and say, look, I can't do it, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know, and like I said, even for me to do this, it's complicated, you know what I mean? And it'd take a lot of thinking about, so I'll just take these clips off, mate.
There is some movement there, and maybe in that next stage of the kind of the roadmap, we will see
well, yeah, the aviation industry, from the airports to the plane companies to all the hotels, everyone has been clamouring for the government to change this 2-week quarantine rule, even before it was brought on, absolutely ditched by even the Tory backbench. The expectation has been, even then, they would bring it in as a face saver, it reassured people the SAS was brought in quarantine, and then review. What a surprise, at the very end of June, they'd say, no, now it's okay, and we can quarantine for people from Brazil, I would suggest we just don't have any people from Brazil. That would make sense. But you know, countries that have got a massively high rate. But this idea of air corridors and air bridges, everyone seems to be expecting this to happen. But who's expecting people to book a holiday if they're not sure it's going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are still a lot of people who perhaps booked things for the summer way back then, and then still having from those ones, so they're not sure whether if it reopens on July the 4th, a flight that they had booked for July the 5th back in February, whether that's still going to be around. So it is very some sort of legal issues possibly with some of it, because he's been abroad the past years to report, know how important the British trade is to that, and then those other countries would rightly be a bit annoyed about that. So like we just opened up airports, then Eurozone would be like, why aren't we able to do that as well? And they've sued the government before. I'm sure they wouldn't try and do it.
Oh, exactly. I mean, the legal repercussions of this are going to be huge. I mean, we know also any country that you're not
exactly.
That sort of air bridge with will do it.
That's so.
Said
what we've got to do here.
One of the countries you wouldn't have that 14-day quarantine for.
Basically, that's
what was the prize they imposed?
What's happened here. So,
quarantine. But this isn't just about us being able to fly abroad. This is about tourists being able to come to the
go up there, mate, and I'll crack that on.
People might say, it's a bit too dangerous. But people are coming from countries where, frankly, they've barely got any cases at all, or they're long past the pandemic. Certainly not a risk to us. We're more a risk to them right now. But this is a huge industry. The tourism industry is, 9% of our GDP. The restaurants, the cafes, the bars, the hotels, and the taxis of these are vital industries that we need to be getting back off the ground for our economy to pick up.
Yeah, absolutely. I started out in local papers in Devon, and I know, speaking to people down there, like that they cannot have a situation. They just come out of winter. They can't have a situation where effectively they have 3 winters back to back. This summer is effectively another winter season, and then they aren't able to open back up in time to do anything before they have to shut down for the winter again. And essentially, no matter how much furlough scheme or job retention or business loans, there was no way to be able to come through. So they are desperate to have those people to come over. And clearly, like you say, we're the ones exporting cases to other countries. Is that case in New Zealand this week? It's not the cases of cases coming to this country.
No, indeed. I just very much hope that everyone in government sees sense, and I'm very hopeful they will early in July. Fingers crossed. Alan told us to thank you very much. And you've got those MPs going to face some very angry constituents if they don't. Delighted to welcome Mike Graham to the studio. Tell us what's on his show the next few minutes.
Well, I was thinking as I was coming in today, how delightful it's been to have you back here all week, right?
I find it weird when you're nice to
me. I know you do, and I do promise that it won't stay like this. But I have to say, your interview with Dominic Raab, agenda setting, absolute millions and millions of people have now seen it, they're still talking about it. This is what we do here at Talk Radio. What you're particularly good at doing.
Where we think he's gone wrong is set. I'll show you, Mickey, anyway. So this side up here is set level from there and set level from over there. So he's lined all this lot in. Obviously over here, that's all the hip end over there. But that's a 3-ply. 1-ply, 2-ply. He's got his 2-ply and his 1-ply the wrong way round. So obviously his hip end's different.
We may have to share some kind of household thing. We have to do that before.
So everything at this end doesn't work for this end here because nothing lands in. So everything, all this hip is basically fucking gone. You know what I mean? So, but that's this. Yeah, imperial metric mate. I use them both. So the only thing I can't do is 16s and 8s. That's the only thing I can't do. But yeah, that's whereabouts he's gone with that, mate. So and he's just not been able to get it back.
At 9:58, I'm back early at 6:30 on Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. This is
Talk Radio.
So yeah, that's where we think he's gone wrong, mate.
Listen to Mike Graham this morning.
That's where I think he's gone wrong. He just hasn't been able to get it back. He's just fucking thrown it in. So.
Access free professional advice on savings and investments to bills, loans and purchases. Plus, get straight talking guidance to help you navigate the new financial landscape. Making a difference on Talk Radio with Adrian Flux Insurance. Start saving money today with Watfans Van Insurer of the Year 2019. Search Flux Van today.
Another electric performance.
Absolutely, and he's always got acres of space. With rapid charging in under an hour and room for 4.2 cubic meters of cargo, add the Nissan ENV 200 to your team from only $299 a month on business contract hire. Nissan Commercial Vehicles, built to deliver. Visit your local Nissan Business Centre today. Business users of participating dealers excludes 20% VAT. Nissan Finance advance rental £1,794. 36 months, 18 plus, no ownership. Ends 30th of June 2020. T&C supplies, see nissan.co.uk.
Hi, I'm an ad for Voxy, the mobile network that gives you endless social media without using your data. Plus, there's no contracts you can cancel anytime. Get endless social media plus a whopping 12 gig for just £10 a month. What? Don't just sit there twiddling your thumbs. Get your SIM today at voxy.co.uk. Voxy, stay connected, stay
Right, okay, yeah.
It's
Might have to turn the camera around to say much here, so if I do,
Some general data required.
I'll put it back up in a
30-day
bit.
rolling plan, 25 gigabyte rolling, fair use and terms apply.
Over 100 live games in just 6 weeks on Sky Sports. With 60 games a day and 45 EFL Championship games, everything is still to win. Upgrade to Sky Sports today. Require Sky Sports Premier League and football packs. See sky.com/sports for details.
At Wix, we know tradespeople have been keeping the homes of the UK safe and sound. So we know you need to get back out on the job quickly. Get instant access to your 10% discount with the Wix Trade Pro app and shop with us in store, click and collect, or have your order delivered. Not a member? Download the app to register. Always cheaper with Wix Trade Pro. Terms apply.
Whether you're dreaming of a house the size of a football stadium or a football stadium in the back garden of your house, what you need is dream come true money. Euromillions jackpot is £25 million. That's dream come true money. Euromillions is online. Estimated jackpot rules and procedures apply. Players must be 16 and over.
So yeah, we're
Online and on DAB. For the latest news from across the globe, our overriding priority remains to save lives. We're watching the impact of every change that we make very closely. All the latest reaction, information and advice. We must stay alert. We must continue to control the virus and save lives. On the Hour Headlines.
New funds to help children catch up on missed classes, huge rise in borrowing to support the lockdown, and dismay over more delays to the testing app.
Talk Radio News.
Head teachers and unions to help children in England catch up on their education. Up to 2 million of the most disadvantaged children will have access to tutors through a national programme. Boris Johnson says he's determined to get kids back into class by September. Former Education Secretary Damien Hind has been telling Talk Radio it's an ambitious and important project.
This country is home to many races and religions and is one of the most open and tolerant on planet Earth. We need our politicians to actually stop saying that. We enjoy world-class race relations in this country and long continue.
Britain's borrowing soared to a record £103.7 billion over just 1 month during the coronavirus crisis, according to the Office for National Statistics. That's £87 billion more than the same time last year. Bill Johnson from the Institute for Fiscal Studies says this will become a real issue if we have to keep borrowing.
If we were just paying to get through this year and everything went back to normal, it wouldn't The real question is how much are we going to be borrowing next year and the year after and the year after?
According to a major study of more than 250 hospitals across Britain, people with a South Asian background are more likely to die with coronavirus. It's found that's partially because some patients had diabetes, and the researchers said policies such as protecting people at work and who gets a vaccine may now need to change. The government's decision the way its current coronavirus track and trace app works means epidemiologists will have access to less data. A model based on technology provided by Apple and Google has been promoted as being more focused and may not include contact tracing. Medical professionals are expressing dismay at the length of time it's taking. Leading GP Dr. Dawn Harper has told us she can't understand why the government couldn't get it right.
It's important that we can identify distance. That's the whole point of the tracing. You know, if you've been past somebody at a 3 or 4 metre distance, that doesn't mean that you need to be identified. So the distance thing is really important. I don't understand why we're now being told that, given that there is a huge amount of technological information and expertise available, why it's going to take until the winter to amalgamate those two up.
A man's been stabbed to death in Bath and a woman have also been taken to hospital. The 31-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder after it happened earlier this morning.
I've got sandwich, mate. I've got one on the way, mate. So.
Calling for more research
I'm splitting this. I've stripped that lot up there.
and dogs
I'm working this balance in. I think I've got
humans.
it
Researchers
square.
from University College
So,
London say if the virus becomes common in animals in close proximity to humans, it could lead to another outbreak in that area.
National weather.
A mixture of cloud, bright or sunny spells and showers.
Talk radio. Listen, that's a dream. Everyone has them, jingling away in the back of our minds. And most of the time, that's where dreams stay. So easy to ignore. Anything can drown them out, and everything does. But at Honda, we listen to our dreams.
The more I thought about
We
it,
get
it's just,
right up close.
I've never fucking seen it like it.
And on really good days,
Like I said to Jack when he was here,
they become
I've probably only
reality.
seen it maybe twice.
From
And that was only when
2022, Honda's mainstream
the
cars
recession
will
was on,
probably be
like,
hybrid
it was
or
just-
electric.
You know,
Honda,
there was just iron idiots.
power of
You know, after the bit of recession, it was getting big.
on DAB and on your smart speaker.
Oh, that's horrendous. That's fucking horrendous in that. This one, like I said, at least we can pull this one back in the stage, walls up. This one could be second fix, well, class in the second fix and that kind. I'll be ready with that one now.
To the independent Republic of Mike Graham, right here on Talk Radio.
The
We
more-
have arrived, ladies and
like we
gentlemen,
was
at the
in
end
there
of yet
yesterday, the
another
more we looked at it, the
eventful
more we
week,
see.
and there is much to discuss today. Kicking off
Yeah,
the
it
call
just-
over
like
at
you said,
Mr. We will explore
Well, it's
how
like
the
racing yesterday,
death
it should have
of
only
Black
gone to-
Minneapolis to a call for the
Oh.
banning of England's
Yeah.
rugby
Oh.
anthem, Swing Low, Sweet
Well, it's like me and Jack
Chariot.
said.
Sometimes the amazing way
If we put a level on the punch straight away, then all it's been out.
by the rapid release of the few
But he
who at the
didn't
moment
just
are
say,
the
"Well, they
tail
fucking trust
wagging
on
the
it."
dog in this country.
So
After all,
it's, you know,
who the
that's where it's
Guardian
gone wrong
was
straight away. Like you
publicising
say,
the
I'm
views
not
of
getting
Luke
back in it.
Turner, an author of
Just back and
dubious
forth, shit,
distinction.
it's
We thought it was a good idea on the occasion of Vera
Yeah.
Lynn's death to write a piece decrying
Yeah, no worries, Chris, no
of
problem.
21st century Britain and claiming that toxic nostalgia, his words, not mine, has twisted the meaning of her songs. What a completely and utterly fried plonker. And how insensitive. How do you think Vera Lynn's family are going to feel about reading that, Luke?
Yeah.
I ask you,
Go back,
do you
go
really
back.
think it's a good idea for you to say that Lynn's fame was trapped in symbiosis with the anxiety of a nation in decline, forever doomed to look into the past, to the time when Britain had its finest hour? Well, I'll tell you what, Luke, I don't like you, I don't like your books, and I don't like your opinion.
Sambo.
So here we go. This is The Guardian today. You know what's going to happen. It's going, I'm afraid, down the tube. It's
Well,
going
mate.
in the bin because once again, The Guardian is an absolute and utter disgrace.
Well, then, mate, get it ripped up.
What on earth are the people doing? Publishing this rubbish. We don't live in the past. We are not a jingoistic country. And quite frankly, Luke Turner, I wish
Go on,
you
mate, rip
could
it
go
up.
away. Thanks very much indeed. 0344 499 1000. Coming up later on, we're joined by Susan Hall from the Conservative Group at the London Assembly. She's furious that Mayor Sadiq Khan is now complaining that he has a 500 million black hole in the budget, which means he can't do anything about police recruitment or anything else this year. What an utter shambles his administration is. First, he lost a load of money to TfL and demanded that the company that he runs, i.e. London, be bailed out by the government. Now he's claiming he's lost all the rest of the money we've given him. Also, we'll be asking what happens tomorrow if the Black Lives Matter protesters gather in defiance of the new law set by the government, which forbids meeting of more than 6 people at a time. Because that's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Welcome back, Mickey. Having a sausage, tomato, nice brown, mate.
As restaurant owners and pub chains have declared they are opening up on July the 4th, whether the government likes it or not. And because it's Friday, we will have another sparkling edition of the Perrier Awards in the company of producer Marta Malagon. You're listening to me, Mike Graham, on the fastest growing radio station on the planet. It is, of course, Talk Radio.
Mid-morning with Mike Graham. Talk Radio.
Let's say a very good morning to our very good friend, Ms. Kate Hoey. Kate, a very good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, Mike.
Now, perhaps you can answer me this question. How did we go from the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis to a ban, possibly, on the singing of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot?
Got on
I think there's an awful lot of people
sausage,
who are
tomato, and
sticking
hash
out,
brown.
in a way that's actually really sticking up for our country in terms of the way that we do have an incredibly tolerant country. Yes, we have individuals who are racist, and yes, we've had some incidents with the police over the years, and I have in my own constituency where police have behaved badly. There were incidents.
So I've got that there. We're just going to see if it works for everything, and then.
Now from a situation where a terrible tragedy happened to George Floyd. It was dreadful what happened.
You know me, Ricky.
Somehow that has been used by this pretty political movement, Black Lives Matter, and I always think of it with a capital B and a capital L and a capital M, because of course most of the people who were on the marches were genuinely concerned about the George Floyd issue and wanted to show that they were showing support. But that sort of with small b and a small m and a small l, the movement itself, you only have to look up to see what it stands for.
Cheapest sandwich shop in all this.
So many people
Where I get it from.
understood
Absolutely,
the
man.
political nuances behind it, and the fact that it's actually genuinely about changing our society completely, getting rid of capitalism, getting rid of kind of white supremacy, whatever that means in
Well, I've never heard the term as often as I've heard it in the last 2 weeks, white supremacy. I'm sorry, I don't recognise that as a term which has any meaning whatsoever in modern Britain, certainly. I know there are some nutters in America who proclaim themselves to be white supremacists, and the KKK and all that. We have no heritage of that.
No, we haven't, and we have, you know, in all our walks of life, lots of things have changed over the years because people have protested, and we've had some great work done by people like Colonel Phillips and so on to ensure that equality is something that is at the sharp end of everything. But what we're seeing now, and what worries me now, is that certain people seem to be looking for reasons to be offended. They're actually going out of their way to find things and then put in, and then the media, I'm afraid, the mainstream media picks up on that. So that whole issue about chariots of
Sweet Low, yeah. Sorry, Kate, we've just lost you there for a second.
Lost you.
Are you there? No, we seem to have lost Kate's phone line there for a second. We'll get it back. She's only in Northern Ireland, you know. She's not on another planet. So it shouldn't be too difficult, but we'll get back shortly.
You know, Jody, you know.
About as well is a story that's actually, funnily enough, on the front page of The Guardian, which says this: dysfunctional toxic culture led to Labour defeat. Major report finds, and believe it or not, they've actually got Ed Miliband, remember him, who's now back on the front benches for Labour, writing about how they're learning from their defeat in 2019 in the election. Apparently, I mean, they must have been listening to this show, because they're basically parroting exactly what I've been saying for the best part of the last 6 months. Labour has a mountain to climb if it is to get back into power, according to a major review of the 2019 general election defeat. I think we've got Kate back. Kate, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Yes, I was saying that people are looking for reasons to be offended, and you know, I think what I'd like to see is people in leadership actually talking much more positively about our country. It looks now that everyone in leadership always wants to be doing it down, and we've seen that you know, right through the last couple of weeks. And also, I think there needs to be, particularly when we're dealing with the COVID-19 issue, a lot more cross-party support for positive things. The media, the media seems to be.
I'm going to crack back on with this, so I've got my phone set up anyway, so I should be able to talk and stream at the same time. So.
Sport in particular now seems to have been caught on to all this. Is really, really disappointing and worrying, actually, because where does it go from here? What happens next?
Well, exactly. I mean, that's certainly what I've been saying to people. Exactly when does this kind of come to a point where, and I had a guy on last week from Black Lives Matter, and I said, at what point do you stop protesting? At what point do you say, we've got what we wanted? Because I don't think anybody's all that clear about what it is that this organisation wants.
No, other than what's on its, you know, its overall aims from the starting forth in America. But I think, you know, it can also be that at the moment there are an awful lot of people who are kind of in a limbo because of COVID, and it's something to have caught on to. But I thought, you know, the way that the Premier League behaved was really hypocritical, because we wasn't that long ago where one of the Arsenal players, Mesut Ozil, tried to protest about China's persecution of Muslims, and it was told very clearly by the club that, you know, it was a player's personal opinion. The club did not involve itself in politics, and that's been the line of the Premier League. And suddenly, it's okay for them all to wear these shirts and to, you know, go down on their knee and do that. And I think that of course, it isn't affecting their money. They won't criticise China because it's going to affect their
Well, they also won't criticise Qatar, which is hosting the next World Cup, where they have at the very least slave labour, at the very least in sort of encapsulated slavery, killing people for building stadiums because it's so hot and they can't breathe. I mean, it's quite remarkably hypocritical, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And then, you know, the other thing we saw this week, which really upset me as a former Labour member of Parliament and a former party member, was that letter that was written by Labour MPs criticising Priti Patel, and then the criticism that there's been of Manila Mirza, one of Downing Street's advisors. Somehow the idea that if you're from a black or ethnic minority group and you don't carry on with the same views that are supposedly what black and ethnic minority people should think, that somehow you're then, you know, a real, you know, you've let everybody down that can be criticised. I think that's just shocking.
Well, I've seen that old phrase, Uncle Tom and Auntie Tom, being trotted out, which is by no means anything other than a racist term, but I haven't heard it really since the 60s and the 70s. But people are now using it against those members of ethnic minorities who are not buying into this thing.
No, exactly, and I think there would be an awful lot more out there of many Afro-Caribbean people who, particularly, who've been very, very proud of our country, are very supportive of our royal family.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the stream off and I'm going to come back a bit later on. Like I say, I'm literally, I need to keep moving around, so I'll be better set up Monday for streaming. Because I'll be back up, I'll be in here Monday anyway. I'll be up in the ceiling anyway Monday, so but like I say, I'm going to stop the stream and then I'll take some photos and everything so I can show everybody later on when I stream later on. So it's all depending on what time I get home from work. So but yeah, like I say, I appreciate everybody stopping by. So I'm glad.
I'm very happy to listen to anybody's.
I will do, matey. I will do when I get home, matey. I'm going to be a mate. So, but I just need to, like, literally just try and get this bit done here, so it can get past. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I say, I'll probably back later on, depending on what time it is. Probably Last of Us 2, so it should have downloaded. If not, then I'll come back with some just chatting or something. So, but yeah, we'll be back later. So have a good night, have a good evening, everybody, morning, everybody, or whereabouts ever you are in the world. So, and we'll see you soon. See you soon. Bye bye.